Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to tell you about the movie In Time, 2011, a story set in a world where every minute could cost you your life. In this reality, time has become the currency, the rich live forever, and the poor die young. Buckle up. You're about to hear a thrilling recap of this intense story. Part 1. A World Where Time is Life. The film opens with a grim yet fascinating concept. In the near future, scientists have conquered aging. People stop aging at 25, but that doesn't mean immortality. Once someone turns 25, a glowing timer appears on their arm. Exactly 1 year of life. From that moment, the countdown begins. And to live longer, you have to earn more time. Literally, time has become the new currency. Breakfast costs 4 minutes. A bus ride in 2 hours. Wages are paid not in dollars, but in days, hours, and minutes. People die when their timer runs out. Literally, right on the street, in line, anywhere. It's done on purpose, to control the population and keep the poor from living too long. The main character is Will Salas. Will lives in the ghetto, in an area called Day 12, a place where people live minute to minute. He's an ordinary guy, works in a factory, and lives with his mother, Rachel, who looks 25 but is actually 50. They share time between each other, constantly saving and taking risks. Missing a bus could cost you your life. Classic, the rich live forever, the poor die young. In this world, the divide is clear. The richer you are, the more time you have. People in the upper time zones live in luxury with hundreds or even thousands of years, essentially immortal. They move slowly, speak slowly, because they can afford to. The poor are always running, always in a hurry, always one tick away from death. Part 2. A stranger with a century to spare. One evening after work, Will stops by a bar. There he notices a man who clearly stands out. Calm, confident, sipping expensive whiskey. Will quickly realizes this stranger has a lot of time on his clock, which means he's in danger. In the ghetto, wealth like that doesn't last long. The man is Henry Hamilton, and he has over 100 years on his timer. Naturally, a gang of street thieves known as the Minutemen immediately zero in on him. They hunt for time, stealing it from others, quite literally, hand to hand. Will helps Henry escape and hides him overnight in an abandoned building. A conversation that changes everything that night. Henry and Will talk. Henry confesses that he no longer wants to live. He's rich, immortal, but emotionally drained. He says, for some, immortality is a curse. He reveals that the system is built to keep a few people living forever at the cost of millions who die young. It's no accident, it's policy. Henry believes no one should live forever if others have to die for it. A gift and a disappearance. The next morning, Will wakes up to find that Henry transferred all of his time, 116 years, to Will, leaving himself with just a few minutes. Henry walks to a bridge and simply dies. His timer runs out, and he falls into the river. Suicide. The authorities don't believe it was voluntary. A team of timekeepers, the cops of this world, show up. Their job is to prevent unauthorized time transfers. They believe Will murdered Henry and stole his time. He's now a wanted man. Part 3. Breaking into the world of the immortals. Now that Will has over 100 years on his clock, a true fortune, he can finally afford to cross into a new time zone. But even that's a challenge. To get into the wealthy district known as New Greenwich, he pays an entire month of life just for a taxi. And at each checkpoint, he's forced to give up more and more time. A kind of wealth tax. A stark contrast between worlds. Once in New Greenwich, Will is struck by the difference. People live slowly without stress. Endless parties, limousines, luxury hotels. No one is in a hurry. Everyone has centuries ahead of them. People waste time casually, spending decades on clothes, games, and bets without a second thought. Poker game, and meeting Sylvia, Will enters a high-end casino and joins a poker game with millionaires. He quickly wins over 1,000 years from one of the city's most powerful men, Felipe Weiss, a billionaire who controls massive time banks. That's where he meets Philippe's daughter, Sylvia Weiss. Beautiful, but clearly bored. Despite her wealth, she doesn't feel free. Her life is a golden cage. Sylvia is intrigued by Will. His boldness, honesty, and energy are rare in her world. They flirt, but just then, the timekeepers catch up to him, led by Leon, a tough, relentless officer. They arrest Will, accusing him of murdering Henry Hamilton and stealing his time. They confiscate nearly all of Will's remaining time, leaving him with just 2 hours to live. Escape with a hostage, Will breaks free from custody and takes Sylvia as a hostage to escape the city. Together, they flee New Greenwich, and Sylvia finds herself in the real world for the first time, among the poor, where people die every day. At first, she's horrified, but soon she starts to understand how unfair the system really is. For the first time, she sees what it means to live when every minute counts. Part 4. Modern-day Robin Hoods. After escaping New Greenwich, Will and Sylvia go into hiding in the ghetto. At first, Sylvia is afraid and overwhelmed. She spent her entire life in a world where everyone has thousands of years and no one dies without cause. But now she sees mothers burying children who didn't make it to 30, workers collapsing in the streets before payday. This reality shatters her worldview. Sylvia begins to change. She transforms from a scared rich girl into Will's committed partner. The start of the fight. Will and Sylvia decide they won't just hide. Instead, they begin robbing time banks owned by her father, Philippe Weiss. But they don't keep the time for themselves. They give it away to the poor. They become a kind of digital age Robin Hood duo. Their actions quickly make headlines. A couple stealing time from the rich and giving it to the poor. People start to rise up. Society begins to crack. Because if the poor start living longer, the whole system collapses. The economy, the population control, the power structure. It all depended on the poor dying young. The hunt intensifies. Timekeeper. Leon continues to pursue Will and Sylvia. He's a man of principle, believing that order is more important than justice. He's not a villain. He's a product of a system he believes prevents chaos. At one point, he nearly catches Will, but Will escapes, leaving behind nothing but a timer, ticking down to the last second. Part 5. The final move. Will and Sylvia realize that robbing time banks is only a temporary fix. As long as time is in the hands of a few, others will still die. They need to strike at the heart of the system, to destroy the control over time and prove that no one should have the power to decide how long someone gets to live. They plan their boldest move yet, to break into the central time bank owned by Sylvia's father. It holds millions of years, a reserve used by the elite to control society, to bribe, dominate, and kill. It's the core of the entire system, the heist of the century. Breaking in is nearly impossible. Sylvia uses her knowledge and connections. Will brings courage and cunning. Together, they bypass security and find the capsule holding 1,000,000 years. It's not just currency, it's power, concentrated in one place. They steal the capsule and, risking everything, send the 1,000,000 years into the ghetto, straight to the people. The impact is immediate. The economy spirals into chaos. Time zones collapse. People flood the streets, quitting their jobs, no longer afraid to live. Leon's sacrifice. In pursuit of Will and Sylvia, timekeeper Leon finally catches up. He's ready to kill Will, but suddenly realizes his own timer is at 0001. He was so focused on the chase,
You can run.
he forgot to replenish his own time.
Yeah?
I worked out how to escape. I didn't start the clock. Run it back. I keep it running. I keep time.
He dies just moments from victory. It's a symbolic end. A man who protected the system, killed by that same system. The ending, Weiss loses control. The system begins to fall apart. For the first time in ages, millions of people across the country are given a real chance to live. Will and Sylvia vanish into the crowd, not as criminals, but as heroes who gave time to those who never had it. The film ends with the pair preparing for their next heist, in another city. They won't stop until everyone has the right to live, not just survive. Time is the most valuable currency, and it's up to you how you choose to spend it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which movie you'd like me to cover next. See you soon. And remember, your time is priceless.
I love you.